Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome in if this is your first time being here. This is Empowered Gems Tarot. My name is Melissa. This channel used to be called Tarot by Melissa, so if you've been searching for me under that name, then you are in the correct place. Today's reading is going to be a career reading where we are digging into current challenges that you may be facing in your career and try to get some guidance for you around how you can overcome those challenges. This reading was requested by subscribers a few months ago. I had posted for feedback on my community tab, just wanting to understand what types of career readings you all really wanted to see. And so this came directly from that list of requests that I received. Getting into a few disclaimers. Remember that this is a general reading on YouTube, so the messages may not resonate for everybody. If you're viewing your reading and you feel like it's confusing you or it just doesn't feel like it matches up to your situation, that's usually a sign that it's not your message, and I would recommend you just release that and let that go. With these general readings, sometimes you're going to find that the whole reading resonates as if you got a personal reading, but other times you may find that only parts of it make sense for you, or maybe none of it makes sense for you. So any of those outcomes can be possible when we're talking about these collective readings that are out there on YouTube. If you guys did want to book a personal reading with me, the link to my website is in the description box down below. I do offer a career and professional life service, which would be a great option for any of you that have questions about your career. But personal readings are a better way to get guidance tailored to your specific, unique situation if that's what you feel that you need. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and select your reading. So today we're going to have a choice between 3 different readings. If you're drawn to group number 1, we'll be working with this Sardonyx crystal. If you're drawn to group number 2, we will be working with this Pyrite crystal. And if you're drawn to group number 3, we will be working with this Bumblebee Jasper. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath and think about your career and what you need to know at this time. Go ahead and select the crystal or the pile of cards that you're feeling the most intuitively connected to. And once you've made your selection, you can scroll down to the description box below to find the timestamp that will skip you ahead to your chosen reading. See you there. Hey group 1, and welcome to your reading. If you all selected the Sardonyx crystal, this will be your message, and today we're going to be looking into career challenges that you may be facing and how we can overcome those challenges. Before we jump in, remember that this is a general reading that's put out there for the collective on YouTube. So the messages may not resonate with everyone, or you may find that some messages resonate more than others within this reading. So just keep in mind that if it doesn't feel like it fits for you, just release that and let that go. Don't let it get you upset or dwell on it too much, because that's typically a sign it's just somebody else's message out there in the collective, okay? So I want to start by looking into the overall energy of your career, and then we'll kind of dive deeper into like what's going on, what's the challenge, and then how do we overcome. So group 1, we have the energy of focus here with crystals. And then we also have the energy of Venus here as well. So overall energy of your career right now, I feel like maybe some of you guys have been feeling a little bit distracted or conflicted about like what to do. Because right now Spirit is saying like what is needed is to really clear the mind, clear away any distractions, and really focus on what your goals are, or what you're trying to achieve here. I feel there could also be some anxiousness that a lot of you guys are dealing with regard to something in your career. Amethyst crystals can be really good for calming energy, like calming any anxieties, helping us focus as well, as the card says, kind of clearing all the clutter and distractions so that we can kind of have that direct line of information coming through clearly from source, from our higher selves. So definitely, like, very strongly, the need to center yourself and to focus and eliminate distractions is coming through a lot. We also have the energy of Venus here. So I feel like for a lot of you guys, there's something about your career that has to do with either like doing the work that you love, needing to kind of figure out what your value system is. So, what is it that you value in career? Venus can also be associated with beauty too. And there's a lot of beauty energy that I see with both of these cards, like luxury, beauty, maybe even crystals or gems or something along those lines could be significant as well. But there's something around focusing on cultivating beauty, or focusing on, like, does my work really align with my values? So let's see. Tell us a little bit more, please, Spirit, about what's going on right now in career for group 1. Hold on. We have an 8 of Swords. Interesting. And we have the Queen of Swords, and we have the Death card coming through with Justice in reverse. So that's Libra energy. So there could be an undertone here of some sort of injustice that you guys have been dealing with, or breach of contract, or kind of like something where things are out of balance here or aren't fair from your perspective at work. And I think that there's an energy here of, with this 8 of Swords, just feeling kind of mentally stuck or trapped, or feeling disempowered. Like there's something that you can't really do, feeling like your hands are tied, like you can't really do anything here. But what Spirit is actually saying in this reading is that there is power that you hold in the situation, because the 8 of Swords is very mental, right? There could be some general limitations, right? Especially if you guys work for someone else, or really in any work scenario, there will always be certain constraints or limitations, right? Justice can talk about like law and legal, right? So when we talk about working, there are all sorts of like employment laws and regulations and things, regardless of what type of work you do, right? So those are always going to be things that are there that are maybe limiting or confining, depending on how you look at it. But this is saying that, like, I think Spirit is pointing to the fact that maybe you are seeing these as being a lot bigger than what they actually are, and that you do have more power in the situation than you may realize. And the 8 of Swords, with focus being here, again, there's something that maybe your fears or anxieties are blocking you from at this time, which is why Spirit is saying it's really important right now to kind of clear any clutter, clear any outside distractions, and just kind of focus, right? Try to kind of, maybe like meditation could be significant here for some of you. That's kind of what I'm getting, like meditation, almost like sitting inside of a metaphorical cave of crystals to just like clear the energy, because there is a challenge here with the mountain. But I think that it's something that's you're going to be able to overcome if you kind of remove these fears that are limiting you from progress. So we also have the Queen of Swords, and we have the Death card here as well. So Queen of Swords, kind of like echoing this Libra energy, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. We have air energy here. Within this situation, I'm wondering if there could be, this could be your energy, this could be a person of significance, but Queen of Swords is going to be somebody in the workplace who is very discerning, somebody who is living up to their values, which is something we talked about with Venus. Sometimes this can be someone kind of cold or difficult to impress because they're going to have really, really high standards. I do think that this has to do with you though, group one, like your energy of being more deliberate around a career that really aligns with your values and having high standards and high discernment around that. There's something here where like it's time to kind of cut the cord is what I'm seeing, right? The death card is about transition, slow change, where we're going to be letting go of the old path that we were on and then releasing it so that we can open up a new door, a new path for us. But there's still kind of a little bit of this cord that's lingering to the past you. And I think that it's time, like Spirit is saying, it's now time to really cut the cord because the new door is opening up right behind you here. Okay, like the change is imminent and it's coming regardless is kind of what Spirit is saying. So let's keep going and just see what else you guys need to know about your career at this time. Venus as well can talk about money too. So maybe there's something about money and values as it pertains to money that is coming up as a theme for a lot of you guys. Group one. What else does group one need to know about their career, please, Spirit? Beginning, it's a good time to start a new job or a whole new career. You have creative ideas that get noticed, build a nest egg for the future. Maybe right now Spirit is saying like, because it feels like you guys are still in whatever the old paradigm is. So you should be like saving your money right now so that you can prepare to launch into whatever is coming next. Let's get one more. But yeah, it's definitely kind of echoing this need to let go of something so that you can usher in something better. We also have strategy. You need a step-by-step plan of attack to reach the next level. Get the advice of someone who is already where you want to go. Really good feedback from Spirit here. So it's about cultivating a plan that's going to help to get you where you want to go. And maybe this Queen of Swords for some of you could represent someone at work who already has the type of job that you want or is already living the type of like role or values through their career that you're aspiring to. But it's time to get strategic here, Spirit is saying. And I think you have more power in this situation than you think you do to be strategic and create that plan. But yeah, it definitely seems like wherever you guys are at, you've outgrown it. Like I see you guys having this really beautiful, like elevated luxury energy. I don't know why I'm getting luxury. I don't know, but there's something about you that is, I feel, too sparkly and too valuable in comparison to wherever you're actually at in your career. I almost feel like wherever you guys are right now, you might feel inhibited in some way, like your sparkle is dulled, or maybe it's not valued in a way that like they're just not seeing what they have with you. Hopefully that makes sense. We have Two of Cups. So it could be a business partnership that's coming through for you guys next, working with a partner. Let's see what else. What else does group one need to know, Spirit, about their career at this time? We have Queen of Wands. Yes. Okay, that's super interesting. Yeah, look at this. There's like the angel and the devil. Like, what do I do in this situation? So, but there's definitely something about just feeling kind of stuck, like being unsure about what path we want to take or how we want to address the situation. But I definitely think you guys are bored. I feel like whatever you're doing, it's super like gray and just blah to you. And it like minimizes or just doesn't create a space for you to show your beauty and your creativity and the talent that you have, right? Maybe a lot of you guys have been having to like default into this Queen of Swords energy when really you're a Queen of Wands energy. And one is not better than the other, but it feels to me like you guys have a lot of creativity that you bring to the table, and you could be in an environment that's very stifling or just dry when it comes to that. It's like boring, you know? So Spirit is saying, right now, how we're going to overcome this challenge that you're in is business partnerships or connections, right? So I think it's going to be really important for you guys to start building your network or leveraging your network as you are ushering in your new beginning. So it could be that you're sharing your creative ideas. This is the Two of Cups, right? So cups are creativity at work. Sharing your creative ideas with the right people, being strategic about who you're sharing your creative ideas with, and getting people on board with what you have to offer is significant. Now, this could be happening within your current environment and workplace, or this could be talking about looking external to your current environment and workplace. But those connections are going to be of the utmost importance to you at this time as you're starting this new beginning. Queen of Wands is about stepping into your power, stepping into your confidence, and again, building a strategy and then actioning that strategy. You guys have a lot of leadership capability here and qualities that you emanate. And I also think as you're shifting into this energy of being strategic and showing other people what you're able to do, you're going to start to get a lot of attention, and people are going to start looking to you in a really positive light, like maybe more so seeing this value that you bring to the table than what they're seeing right now. Again, though, I think that for some of you, you might be exiting a current workplace and going somewhere else, but you can still be cultivating these skills in your current workplace. You know what I mean? So it's almost like while you're here, make the most of what you can, but be very strategic and deliberate about how you're planning your next steps, I guess. Especially if you're planning, whether you're planning to stay where you are or go external. Okay, so let's see. Let's get a couple of these closing remarks here, please, Spirit, for group 1 about their career. We have Knights of the Round Table. Let their love lift you higher. So here's another message about community and networking. So leveraging other people is super, super important. So build your network, build your strategic partnerships, connect with people who already have the result that you're looking for, right? Maybe there's a certain job that you want. So start talking with people who have that job and who are good at it, right? So that you can plan accordingly. Also, I think just with the strategy energy around partnerships, I think just making sure that when you're around key partners or stakeholders or whoever it is, coming prepared to show who you really are. Because it does feel like there's support here from groups. Like the more people who are seeing you in a positive light, the better your results are for attracting whatever this is that you guys want, okay? One more. Weird is the new cool. Boldly express your uniqueness. Yes, that makes a lot of sense, because I do feel there's this energy of you guys maybe suppressing who you really are, because maybe this environment that you're in is just kind of dry and it just doesn't align with what your values are, or it's just you maybe feel a little weird being in this environment. But this Queen of Wands is kind of echoing this message that now the changes that you want to cultivate are going to come through being yourself, boldly expressing your uniqueness, sharing your creative ideas and insights here. It might help to, add some color to this boring situation that you're finding yourself in. Okay. So, really cool message, group 1. We're going to just end here with a self-care oracle card just to see what Spirit wants to highlight for you from a self-care perspective as you're moving through your career challenges at this time. So self-care energy, please, Spirit, for group 1. What do they need to know as they move forward with their career? Abundance planning. So there's definitely another message here about like planning financially, building a nest egg for the future, and Venus. So there is something about money here and needing to be like very deliberate about and intentional about planning for abundance, setting a budget. But I think planning in such a way that you still can enjoy the lifestyle that you want. Because I do think with this Venus and these crystals, you guys like to live a certain type of lifestyle, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just think that Spirit is wanting you to be a little bit more intentional around how you're allocating your resources as we move forward. I think you're going to feel better once you have like a more solid plan in place. So this is what I see, group number 1. Please comment below if this reading did resonate. Let me know which aspects resonate the most with you and what you guys have had going on in your career leading up to this point. And if you do want to continue to support my work, please do subscribe to the channel, hit bell notifications so that you will be updated whenever I post new content or updates. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye. Hey, group number 2, and welcome to your reading. If you guys selected the Pyrite crystal, this will be your reading all about career challenges. So we're going to be looking into what's going on and how you all can potentially overcome these challenges that you're facing. Before we jump in, do remember that this is a general reading that's put out there for the collective on YouTube, so you may find the messages don't resonate with all of you. That's totally normal. If anything that's coming up in this reading just doesn't really feel like it fits for your situation or it feels confusing, that part of the reading is probably just not your message. So just keep that in mind, release and let it go if it does not apply to you. Okay, so let's see what's going on in career. So we're going to start by looking at the overall energy for you guys. And we start off here with the Mountain. And then we also have the energy of Mercury coming through. So I'm already kind of feeling like this group, there really is a big hurdle to overcome here with the Mountain. It's kind of giving me an energy of like slow and steady progress is going to be needed here, because whatever the challenge is, I think it's going to require like long-term stamina over a long-term period of time. I'm also kind of noticing with this card how we've got like this mountain in the background that's kind of, it's cold looking, like it's in the shadows. And then the foreground area, it's like a smaller mountain that is being highlighted here by the sun. And so what this is making me think of is like taking it step by step, right? Taking it one challenge at a time. Because I think when we're looking at the big thing, it can feel very daunting. But really, it's just like Spirit is saying, you have this one little hurdle to overcome, this one little challenge to overcome first. Then we're going to worry about the big challenge, right? I feel like the challenge has to do with communication for a lot of you with Mercury being here. So communicating with others, receiving communication, the thought process and the way that we're thinking through things could be significant here. So let's keep going with the tarot and just see what else we can get for group 2. Mercury is also like a really fast-paced energy, and so there could be like a little bit of frustration here around maybe wanting to make faster progress with this situation, but feeling impeded because it's just happening a lot slower with the Mountain. But let's see. Tell us more, Spirit, please, for group 2 about their career challenge and what's happening right now beneath the surface. Okay, yeah, so we have a 7 of Pentacles, definitely impatient energy, like when is it going to be my time? When is it going to be ready? And we also have the 4 of Swords in reverse here as well. Wheel of Fortune, so maybe there's been some unexpected turns of events leading up into this reading, right? Something kind of unexpected has happened to kind of shift things around for you. So yeah, I definitely think that you all are in a space right now where you're reevaluating, right? Like things have been shaken up as it pertains to your career. And now it's sort of, we're in this space of saying, all right, like what's next, right? Seven of Pentacles is about reassessing our goals. And in this specific Seven of Pentacles, we see that she's like checking on these grapes and they're not fully ripened yet, right? They're not fully ready to be picked. And so I think like kind of like what I was saying in the beginning, whatever you guys are asking about here with career, it's still kind of in the growing stages, right? It's still going to take a little bit of time to get to where you ultimately would like to go. So I do think there are some frustrations around that. Like it's not ready yet, it's taking too long. Why does it feel so challenging for me to overcome this? And then with the Four of Swords in reverse, I don't know. I think there's been a lot of anxiety around the situation, maybe just a lot of stress over the situation. Maybe some of you all have recently decided to step back and kind of take a little break, like a mental break from what you've been working on. And there's an energy here of wanting to kind of refresh things or kind of come out of that rest period, but maybe you're not sure about like what strategy we need to take or what approach we need to take to cultivate the result we want. So let's see what else we need to know. So for group one, please, Spirit, can you please tell us how they can overcome this challenge going forward? What else do they need to know? Spiritual work, doing some inner work can help you get clear before you move on. You will get insights into what work will best serve your needs. So there's kind of echoing that Four of Swords. I think that there is something around maybe pulling back your energy and just taking a little break is going to help you all to see things a bit more clearly here. We have locked. Work you may want may not be in reach now. You can take a temp position while awaiting an opening. Your new place offers job security. And look at this, progress. It seems like a long slog, but your efforts will pay off soon. Stay on course for at least a few more months before making a change. Yeah, so I think that before you guys like fully throw in the towel on this situation, because I think that's where you're at right now. It's kind of like, you know, maybe you've made it to this point, but there's some other sort of barrier that's making it very difficult for you to move toward your goal. And it feels like now we're in a situation where it's like, what do I do? You know, I'm hearing What Was I Made For? Billie Eilish. And so there could be like a questioning of like your purpose or what direction or what's really the right move for me spiritually, mentally, you know, with my career. So it could be that there's some sort of roadblock here, and Spirit is kind of guiding you to pull back your energy with the Four of Swords, do some reflection, maybe still give it a couple of months before you fully decide to kind of throw in the towel here. But this is so interesting, you guys, because we have this card about progress. Then we have this card talking about an ending, leaving a position. But then through leaving the position, we have some new direction, a fresh start here. Okay, so it kind of feels like there's a need to give this situation maybe a little bit more time and then kind of allow yourselves to naturally come to the conclusion around what's next. Let's pull a couple of these for group two. Spirit for group two. What else should they know about their career challenge here? How can they move forward? I almost feel like some of you all received some sort of news with Mercury where you were like, whoa, that's going to be really hard for me. Something unexpected. Yeah, so we have the Nine of Wands. And we have the World. Yep. Look at this. This is probably connected to some childhood goal or dream that you had, or something you've been in for a long time. And so I think it's really difficult for you all to maybe throw in the towel here. We also kind of have this energy of being like afraid of changes too. And so like being afraid to change course is almost keeping you all stuck from the abundance and the blessings that you can receive if there's a way to pivot here. So I think that Spirit is saying at this time, as you're sort of reevaluating the situation and reevaluating your progress that you've made so far, perseverance is needed, right? I think there's still some sort of final hurdle or challenge that's going to need to be worked through here, where it's like just kind of tying up that loose end, pushing through to the end of whatever the situation is. But with the World being here, I do think that you all are going to eventually, if you haven't already, reach a conclusion about your situation with career, that maybe like this path is being blocked for a reason, right? There could be some sort of coming to a conclusion that allows you to close out this chapter so that you're able to move forward, like we saw here, on some sort of like fresh new path. We also have direction falling out. Your purpose is unfolding slowly, step by step as you go along. There's no need to hurry or worry. You're being divinely guided. So I think from like a spiritual perspective, if you guys have been like on this path for a long time and all of these roadblocks keep being put in front of you, it could be that Spirit is trying to redirect you somewhere else, right? But I do think that Spirit is wanting you to finish it out, and they're wanting you to kind of allow yourself to arrive at that conclusion in your own timing, right? There's no need to rush the process or, do anything based off like what a tarot reading is saying, right? Because I think ultimately what Spirit is saying is you're going to arrive at the conclusion yourself over time in divine timing. Okay. So let's see. Group 2. What else do we have for group 2? Please, Spirit, about their career at this time. Attune to the call, tune in and turn on. Yeah. So lots of like repeating messages here about going within and just kind of listening to your inner guidance as it pertains to your career. And what is it telling you at this time? Because you are being divinely guided by Spirit, by your higher self. And you might be, I think a lot of you guys are being like divinely guided to redirect your efforts here to something else. Okay. We have Trip the Light, fantastic. Dance with the universe, beautiful energy. So dancing with the universe, it's like picking up on the signs that the universe is sending you and kind of flowing with it is what I feel with that. This can also be talking about the way we're going about something needs to be in partnership with Spirit, in partnership with the universe, because there's a lot of this energy of you guys really like going through a lot of struggle here to achieve something that you want in your career, and whatever it is like being blocked. So I think there's a need here to lean into what the universe is showing you and work with the universe instead of trying to like fight against it or overworking yourself and feeling like you have to do everything on your own. Even when it comes to, this energy of dancing with the universe, this can also talk about being a little bit more intentional about like, I'm going to show the universe what I want with my action that I take with my career, but I'm not going to overwork myself. I'm going to then lean back with the 4 of Swords and let the universe show up for me in return, right? So I was telling somebody this recently about how when I was looking for a new job a few years ago, I needed to find work because I was going to be laid off if I didn't find a job. And I started off by like just applying for all of these jobs online, really without a plan or an intention. And it was super stressful and exhausting. And I wasn't getting anywhere with it. I wasn't getting any interviews out of it, nothing. And just like overworking and overexerting myself. So what I did was I took a step back and I said, okay, I'm going to apply to one job per day and that's it. And I'm going to pick them very intentionally to align with what my goals are for my career. So even though it wasn't as many applications as what these like career advisors out there would tell you to do, I did what worked for me, which that felt very balanced, very easy for me to do one per day that was aligned to my goals. Well, after about 2 weeks of that, all of a sudden I started getting calls for interviews. 5 interviews total lined up on my calendar with companies. So that's what I mean by dancing with the universe. It's about maintaining your personal balance and showing the universe what you want through taking the aligned action, but letting the universe kind of show up for you in return as well. So let's take a look. Closing messages for you, group 2, around just any self-care. So self-care messages for group 2 as it pertains to their career at this time. Plan a vacation. Beautiful. So yeah, I think there's just like a lot of stress here. And look, aromatherapy. Spirit really wants you to relax, group 2. So it doesn't have to be anything extravagant, but I think that it's important right now for you to kind of get away and like detach mentally from the situation, maybe take your mind off of it a little bit. Make sure that you can spend some time relaxing and restoring your energy so that you can reapproach the situation with a fresher perspective, okay? So this is what I am seeing for you, group number 2. If this reading did resonate with you, comment below. Let me know which parts of the reading made sense for your career situation. And if you are not already and you want to continue to support my work, please do subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so that you will be updated whenever I post new content. And I look forward to seeing you there. Bye. Hey, group 3. If you all selected the Bumblebee Jasper, this is going to be your reading. And today we're going to be looking into career challenges and how you can overcome them. Before we jump in, remember that this is a general reading put out for the collective on YouTube. So some messages may resonate really specifically with you, other messages may not. The reading may not resonate with all of you out there, okay? So if anything I'm saying feels kind of confusing to you in this reading, it's typically a sign that it's not your message and it's just meant for someone else out there in the collective, okay? So let's start by taking a look at the overall energy in your career at this time. And we start off with the Whale. And then we have the energy of Vesta here as well. Okay, so there's something here with group 3 where I feel like a lot of you guys have been stepping into some sort of a new experience at work, because that is what this breach is about, okay? There's something that I almost feel like there's a lot of passion for whatever this is that you're doing. I just saw 111 on my clock as well, so that could be significant here if you guys have been seeing 111 a lot. It does make me feel like there's something about this new experience that you're diving into that you feel a lot of passion and excitement for. But I think maybe there's a couple challenges that I'm pinpointing here. I think number 1, there could be something about like confidence, because you're sort of out of your element here. So even though something about this is like, it's giving you like a breath of fresh air and it's exciting, I think that it feels maybe a little bit unnatural to you wherever you're at because it's new and different and you're not used to it. I also think that with Vesta being here, Spirit is kind of highlighting a need to share yourself and share your views, but not necessarily sacrifice yourself. It's sort of like an energy of keeping balance within the situation without overexerting, right? So it's like sharing your views, sharing yourself, taking a very balanced approach, but still protecting your own personal energy and balance as well. So it's like not giving too much of yourself over to this situation. Okay, let's keep going. So what else, Spirit, does group 3 need to know about their career right now and the challenge that they may be facing? We have the Lovers. We also have the Temperance card. Yeah, so definitely balance is necessary here. I think that right now there's an energy of decisions, right? I think a lot of you guys have stepped into this new experience and now you're trying to decide, is this like my place that I'm going to be able to stay ultimately? Is this sustainable for me over a long period of time? And the reason I'm thinking sustainable is the word is because we know that a whale cannot literally survive outside of the water, right? It comes up, it breaches, it's breathing in the air that it needs, but it lives the majority of its life under the water, okay? So I feel like there is just something about this situation where maybe the approach that you're taking or the environment itself, whatever it is, just may not be sustainable to you over a long period of time. And again, with the Temperance card here, this is also highlighting different perspectives. It's highlighting a need for balance. Balance in how much of yourself you're really giving to this situation versus how much you're receiving in return. And it's also about being able to understand and what's the word I'm looking for? Understand and balance different opposing energies together to create harmony. And maybe that's something that's very difficult to do in this situation without overexerting and like sacrificing yourself here. Because I feel like that's the issue. It's like there is something about this role that I think feels very aligned in a lot of ways. And it feels like, wow, this is like, you know, maybe it's very inspiring. Maybe the money is really good. You know, maybe there's something about it that feels very healing and hopeful and optimistic to you. But I think what Spirit is highlighting is the sustainability piece of this. Okay, so let's continue. What else, Spirit, does group 3 need to know about their career at this time? And any challenges that they are facing? Yeah, so moderation is being highlighted here with the Temperance card. Like she cannot necessarily get into this yoga pose by being very clumsy and fast paced, right? It's like it's going to take time for her to be able to cultivate like the skill to shift into that position, right? It doesn't come naturally to all of us to do that. Moderation is significant here. Okay, so let's continue. What else for group 3, please, Spirit? Okay, we've got 2. We have it's okay to look for better work. Be discreet in your search. You need to be aligned with your life purpose to be fully satisfied. Exactly. We also have protection. You are being protected from deceit and from situations that no longer serve you. Lie low for a while and you will be shown the truth. Yep. So I definitely think that Spirit is saying right now, it is okay for you to be where you are, lay low, do your work. You are being protected from things that are not going to serve you, but you can still be discreetly looking for an exit strategy so that you are going into a space where you're aligned with your values and your purpose. Okay. What else, please, Spirit, for group 3? There could be something about the people in your workplace that maybe you're kind of questioning, like, is this really what I want to be around with the Lovers? We have the 9 of Wands. Yeah. We also have the Devil. Yeah. I think that a lot of you guys are in like a toxic workplace type of situation here. And so I think this is why Spirit is saying like, be very mindful and moderate about how much of yourself you're really expending on this. Because this is not going to be the type of workplace or the type of situation where your values are going to be matched. Okay. Like this is lower vibrational energy. This is, you know, a situation where we might have like toxic coworkers. Maybe the organization or the place you're in just kind of has like I'm drawn to abandoned principles, right? So it's like when, you're working somewhere and they say that they have these certain values and goals, but then they don't actually follow them. That can create toxicity as well. And sometimes it's not as obvious, like, because when we think of a toxic workplace, we think of something that can be very obvious, right? Like easy to see. But a lot of times these things are really in the dark, like underneath the surface here, within the foundations. You are being protected from that, though, the Spirit is saying. And I think laying low as you kind of work through this is going to be significant. We also have the 9 of Wands here. So I think Spirit is saying just kind of continuing to push through. I think there is a need to be cautious with people that you work with to make sure that you're not oversharing, or make sure that you are just guarded, staying a little guarded, with what you share and what you say, especially as it pertains to looking for other work. I feel like Spirit does not want you to be talking about looking for another job with anybody that you work with, because again, you don't know if that's going to be repeated or how that may blow back on you in the long run. Okay. We do have this though. Roll the dice. Time to put yourself out there. You're hiding your talents, and it's time to take a risk and step into the spotlight now. I do kind of see that being echoed here with the breach. So I do want to say that with you guys kind of putting yourself out there into this new situation, I do think that you're being seen in a positive light. I just think that Spirit is wanting you to be very careful about tying too much of your worth with this Bumblebee Jasper, like tying too much of your worth to being successful in this place, okay? Because I almost feel like you're only going to be able to go so far, because I think there's something about this place that does not fully align with your values, okay? So let's keep going. What else, please, Spirit, for group 3? What else should they know about their career endeavors at this time? Yeah, like you guys do, I think, stand out in a positive light with the star. You have very healing, optimistic energy, which I think a lot of people are drawn to. We have you've won the lottery, make room for wonderment. Okay. Maybe there's good money in this position. Okay, I know what that's saying. Become the elixir, let your glow do the heavy lifting. Exactly. Okay. I think just like who you are naturally stands out without you guys having to do a lot. You know what I mean? So I feel like what Spirit is saying is moderation. Do not overexert yourself, because your natural state of being is doing the work for you, okay? I also think, especially for those of you where the money is really good in this role, making room for wonderment, I feel like Spirit is saying, pull back your energy from putting so much effort into work and sacrificing other aspects of your life for this workplace. You have the ability to actually make room for wonderment and more balance in your life in general. Okay, so it's like if you have a family, make room to spend more time with your children or your partner or your friends. Like, make room for wonderment with the money that they're paying you is what Spirit is saying. But like, don't sacrifice yourself and your personal balance for this organization and their goals, because I think that it's toxic long run. And I think that long run, it's not going to be sustainable for you. Okay. So very interesting, group 3. We're going to end your reading with just a self-care oracle and just see what Spirit wants to highlight for you with regard to the situation. Self-care messages for group 3, please, Spirit. We have sex. So this could literally mean like what it says. And maybe that's the balance that Spirit is wanting you to bring in. But this can also just be talking about like our creative energy, pleasure in our lives. I just kind of feel like there's not a lot of that happening in this current place that you're in with your career. Okay, so making room for wonderment, it's also about making room for you to enjoy pleasurable moments in your life without selling your soul over to this workplace that you're in right now. Okay. So this is what I see, group number 3. If this reading did resonate with you, comment below and let me know what's been happening with you in your career. And if you want to continue to support my work, please do subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell so that you will be updated when I post new content, and I'll see you there. Bye.